Hi, welcome back to our YouTube channel Tanyaisha. And in this video, we're gonna talk about some of the romance books that I've read till far. So that will be a very long video if I'll discuss all the books. So I'm gonna make such videos in parts, and this video is going to be the first part of this series of romance book recommendations. Okay, so I have really jotted down some of the books that I'll recommend you today. The first book is The Fine Print by Lauren Usher. Now, The Fine Print is the first book in the series called Dreamland Billionaire, which basically follows like the three books follows the three brothers, Rowan and the other two brothers. So, since I have not yet completed the series, I'll not recommend all the books for now because I have not really liked the second book very much. So, in this video, we'll just gonna talk about the fine print. Okay, so the fine print follows two characters. One is Rowan Ken, and the second is Zara. Rowan is the grandson of a billionaire named Brady who has died, and in his will, he has inherited all his money to his grandson. But in order to claim that money, the individual grandson has to do their task that is given in their will. So Rowan has given the task of examining a theme park. It's like a Disney theme park, and he has to examine that theme park. That what are the fault in that park, and what can be like how can we really enhance the income through that park, and how can we make that park more enjoyable for the people. So this was his task, that like something in a year or something he has to increase the revenue, or he has to by providing a better idea of how the park is going to be in a year, like what are the changes that Rowan is going to do in the park. Okay, so it was his task. So in order to to achieve that thing, he has commanded all his subordinates to present their ideas that what can be the changes that can happen. Okay, now the female character is one of the colleague of the same company, and she was also in the meeting when Rowan has given this task to everyone. So while Zahara was drunk, she has criticized one of the ride that always happens, that was the highlight of that park, and she has criticized that. So but since Roman really liked her criticism, he has offered her a higher position in that in that company where they will discuss new ideas about that park or something. Okay, so this was the synopsis. Okay, now this is a workplace romance and is also grumpy and sunshine kind of romance, where Rowan is very grumpy and Zara is always so happy, wear floral colored dresses, and she's super sunshine type of girl. So this is the story. Look, the thing is that I this was a really I'm not going to say that this was a very good book. Okay, this was really not a very like extraordinary book that I read, but it is definitely something that I enjoyed reading. Like, I really have a great time reading it. Their banter was top notch. Like, the amount of time I have to cover my laugh while I was laughing hysterically. The banter was so good. Okay, so it was enjoyable, it was good, it was a good rate. So I'm gonna give it a 3.75 stars out of 5. Okay, that was it. So moving on. The second book I have for you all is My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levin. Now, I this book is a cutie. Okay, now this book is about a vampire who was asleep for 100 years, and now he has woken up, and now the world has evolved, the world has changed. Now in this modern world with modern tools and technologies, and Instagrams, Facebook, TikTok, he wants someone to teach him how to adapt in this new environment. So for the same thing, he is looking for a roommate. So our vampire name is Frederick Fitzman, and our female character is Cassie. Now Cassie is a painter. Like, she is a modern art painter, and she is broke somehow and has been thrown out of her previous apartment because she was not able to pay the rent of that apartment. So she's now looking for a apartment whose price is very low, so she can like she can maintain that living. Okay, बहुत गर्मी है भाई. So our female character is Cassie. Her name is Cassie, and she's a modern art painter. But somehow she's not being able to pay rent of her previous apartment. So she was thrown out, and now she is looking for an apartment with lower price so she can pay it easily. Okay, and she's also finding jobs, and she happens to see the advertisement posted by Frederick, and so somehow she is now the roommate of the vampire, and their interaction is so cute. One of the most amazing thing about this book is that they exchange letters, like like they communicate via handwritten notes which is being placed on counter, like kitchen countertop, and that's how they communicate. Because when Cassie is woke, the vampire is sleeping throughout the day, and when she is sleeping, he is awake at the night. So they really not able to have time to face each other, so that's why they communicate via like letters. And like, you know what, this book is simply, it's like a light hearted comedy, cute romance book with a touch of paranormal activities. Okay, I really liked the book. It was a good time, like I have a good time reading this book because it was like, it was a refreshing stories about vampire. It was not that a vampire has been falling in love with a it was not that. It was different, and it's really amazing. Like it's amazing. So I'm gonna give this book 4 out of 5 stars. You should definitely read this one. The side characters were also amazing, so they just make the story interesting. Okay, so the third book for you all is Corrupted Chaos by Shane Rose. Now, at this point, I have read most of her works, and I think that Corrupted Chaos has a really nice plot among all other book of hers. Okay, because all of her stories are similar in one way or the other. Okay, so if you really have to like try, like she was a new author for me, so I think if you like her writings, then well and good. But if you want to read her works, so I guess Corrupted Chaos is going to be a good one for to start her work. Okay, but I'll not recommend. Like honestly, because you know what, there is nothing, like every plot, every character, and everything is similar in one way or the other. Like it's like Ali Hazelwood, because all of her initial works are similar. Like all of it is like it is related to STEM universities. Okay, so I had that similar feeling while reading Shane Rose books, because everything I felt was so similar to one another of her books. Okay, so I've stopped reading her books. So much of blabbering. So back to Corrupted Chaos. It follows Cade and Izzy. Now Cade is an underground mafia. Like the underground mafia part is his illegal business, and legally he works for the government. Like he provides security to the government for to protect the nation. He provide that security. On the other hand, Izzy is one of his colleague. Like she works under him, and she is computer savvy, and she breaks into various code and want to decode all the illegal stuff that is happening. But Kate do not want Izzy to interrupt his work or want her to get involved in these type of stuff. So he like appoint Izzy far away from all these stuff, and now Izzy lives in a different company. Like it is under his, but it's away from all these stuffs, like the headquarter. She's away from the headquarter. Okay, and because of this, because of like whatever this happened, they both do not like each other. They cannot stand each other. So it's like enemies to lover, and they're enemies because Cade has in past commented on Izzy's past. Like Cade has judged Izzy on the basis of her past. So this was one of the basis of their animosity. and honestly it was really enjoyable for me. It is a little darker and a little spicier than most of the books that I'm going to recommend. So, and it is 18 plus, so read it on your own risk. Okay, I'm gonna give this book 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it and I hope you will too enjoy this book. So now, the next book I have for you all is King of Sloth by Anna Huang. It is one of the book in the series King of Sins series by her, and I enjoyed this book. Okay, this book is about Xavier and Solane. Xavier is the son of one of, again, a millionaire or a billionaire, like billionaire. Obviously, no one is millionaire in Anna Huang's story. So Xavier is a billionaire of what, like of a rich family, okay, and he is basically a very nalayak, like he's a very brat boy who doesn't listen to his family and always partying and clubbing and not taking any responsibility. On the other hand, Solane is his publicist. Like, no, Solane is his publicist. Like she is managing her PR, like she is the
Stop.
PR stunt puller. Like, okay, Solane is the publicist of Xavier. Like, she is in the PR team. She manages the PR team and is one of the highly reputed. Like, she is the head of the highly reputed PR company who manages celebrities and all that. My favorite thing about this book is that it is definitely grumpy and sunshine, but here the roles are reversed. Like Solane is the grumpy one, and Xavier is a little more of a sunshine. Okay, so Solane is really disciplined, highly strict manager, and she always want to get like away from Xavier as much as possible. But due to her work, she has to be with him every time. Whereas Xavier always had a crush on Solane, but she didn't know, and he doesn't wanted to accept it. But he did in fact have a crush on her, and this is where the story started. So this is the synopsis. I enjoyed reading this one, and while this was not like a very great work of her, but it is one of a good work of her. Okay, so I'm gonna give this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, the next book I have is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Now, this book is about these two people, Joshua and Lucinda, who are who are executive assistant to CEOs of their respective publishing company. Like their company is of publishing books and novels. Okay, and they are the assistant for their CEOs. Now, what happened that one of the companies shut down, and somehow they both have to work under the same roof, under the same company, like in front of each other. Their cubicle was in front of each other, and they both are fighting for the same position. Okay, so like just like that, they both become rival to each other. They cannot stand each other, and they literally hate each other. Like, of course, the name, The Hating Game, and they play various games like where they think that like for example, just for the eye, contact maintaining, who is gonna blink first, this type of game, like stupid silly little games they play. This was the synopsis. Okay, what happens with me that when I first started reading it, I did not enjoy it at all. Like, I was like, why everyone is reading this, why this is so popular. Like, I could not just understand it. For the 80 pages, for the first 80 pages, I was really not into it, and I was like, why should not I leave it here? Okay, but I know the reason. Because just before reading this, just 2 hours before this, like for the first 80 pages, I did not enjoy it because I was reading Divine Rivals before it, and Divine Rivals was such a great book that it took me 80 pages to come out of that scenario and enjoy this one. Okay, so for the same reason, I did not left it and continue reading it, and then was like, I actually started enjoying it after 80 pages. So it was a good read. It was not something really different or like very unique in a sense, but it was actually a good book. So I'm gonna go with 4 out of 5 stars, and I had a good time reading it. and I hope you will too. So do read this one. Okay, so the next book that I want to talk is about King of Pride by Anna Huang. It is one of the series of King of Sense by her, and it follows our two characters, that is Kai Young and Isabella. Now, Kai is one of the candidate who is competing for the CEO position for multimedia company, whereas Isabella is the bartender in the Valhalla Club, which is one of the most reputed club in the series of Anna Huang. So, among all of her books, King of Pride is my favorite, okay, because of Kai Young. Like, he is such a gentleman. He is such, has this unique sense of fun where he converts novels and other books into Latin, okay. Like, he converts everything into Latin just for fun. It's his way of having fun, and he's such prim and proper. On the other hand, Isabella is complete opposite of him, whereas he is very meticulous and very observant, disciplined. Isabella is such a bubbly personality girl. Like, she is like a free soul, always talking whatever on her mind, and she is one of those characters with whom I relate the most, because I think I'm like that. I love talking, and whatever is in my mind, I keep speaking that thing. So Isa has the same personality, and sometimes because of that, where she is talking about some random stuff, like Kai and Isa has such wrong timings that whenever they interact, Isabella is just speaking one of the most random things ever, and Kai interrupt her at that time, and he always used to judge her that she is such free mouth girl, like she just spoke like that, and like because of that he was equally intrigued and equally hated her. So that's how this story began, and it is definitely worth reading. It is definitely worth giving your time for. Isabella is, I guess, one of my favorite character, and she'll always be one of my favorite character. Her character is so good, and all the insecurities that she had, it is portrayed in such a beautiful thing, that how adulting and how like the pressure of achieving things in life can have like hold on yourself, the pressure that we as adult are facing nowadays, that we have to achieve this at the age of this, we have to travel world by this, like all these pressures that we like all these expectations that we have for ourselves and the others, like other people who have been expecting from us, like our fear to let them down and everything keep making us anxious, and like it's depressing in a way. Okay, so this book also talk about this in a very good way, and I like this and I relate to this one way or the other, and I enjoyed this. Yeah, like if there is one book that I'll say to read till now, it would be definitely this book. Please read it. It's amazing, and I'll give this book 4.75 out of 5 stars. It is my favorite. I will बहुत बार कह चुकी, but it's really great, and I'll hope you love it. Okay, so the next book I have for you all is Reckless by Lauren Roberts, and it is the second book in the series Powerless. And I think I have recommended Powerless enough times, and it is time for you to read Reckless. And like I started reading Reckless, like I have literally stopped myself from reading it. I was like, I'll read it after giving my final semester examinations, but the curiosity to know what has happened after reading Powerless was so intense that I started reading Reckless just 2 weeks before my final examination, which is insane. And you won't believe the self-control I have was like vanished, just like that it vanished. I was like, I'll just, I'll read the first 10 pages and I'll be like, it will satiate my thirst for reading the book. But when I started it, needless to say, I completed the whole book in just 3 days. Like, it just took me 3 days to read everything. Like, I was just reading for, like 2 hours daily. So it took me just 6 minutes or something, 6 hours or 7 hours or 8 hours something to devour the whole book. And this book is so good. This book is, I guess, like it's one of the cutest, most romantic, and most beautiful book out there. This book is non-spicy book, like it doesn't have even a single spicy scene, and yet it is one of the most beautiful book ever. The dialogues, like every line of that book is unique in itself, is like it can be quoted as it is. And after reading the book, like I was like, I'm going to highlight my favorite moments in the book, and every moment that came was like it was a highlight in itself. So I just stopped it, and I think whole book is written so beautifully. Whole, like every moment, every, yeah, what I can say, I just say that just go and read it. Just go. It is really the most beautiful book ever, after Powerless, of course. So I'm gonna give this book 5 out of 5 stars, and it is, just go read it, yeah, just go read it, okay? So that's it for today, guys, and I hope ki you will definitely get some ideas, and like this video will be helpful for you in a way. And if you do enjoy this video, please consider commenting, liking, and subscribing to the channel. I hope you to see in the next video. Till then, bye, take care, keep reading and keep enjoying. Bye.